Please rise for the entrance of the official party. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the national anthem and remain standing for the invocation of prayer given by Chaplain Paul. You're invited to pray.
We are bound, O God of all times, on the occasion of this graduation ceremony, to give thanks for the lives of these graduates, their families, and instructors. Please give them a vision of the persons you have made them to be. Awaken their minds to the wholeness of your creation and grant that they may remain curious about the nature of things, and that their daily inquiries may cause them to seek justice, to love kindness, and to walk in humble service as they defend and serve. Amen.
Please be seated. Good morning. It's my pleasure to welcome you to Fort Jackson, the Soldier Support Institute, and today's graduation ceremony. The class graduating today is the Adjutant General Corps Captain's Career Course 003-14. I would like to take this opportunity to introduce our distinguished guests. Seated in the left front rows are General Paul Chamberlain, Commander, United States Army Soldier Support Institute; Colonel Todd Garland, Commandant at General School; Mr. Michael R. Malasso, Deputy Commandant at General School; Command Sergeant Major Annette R. Weather, Soldier Support Command Sergeant Major. Thank you for your attendance. We would also like to extend a warm welcome to the families and friends of the graduating class. Seated on the stage to your left is Lieutenant Colonel Andrew Phillips, Total Force Integrator for the Reserve Components. To his left is our guest speaker, Colonel Rosemarie Deck, Army National Guard Special Assistant to Commanding General, Soldier Support Institute. To her left is the Adjutant General Captain's Career Course, Class 003-14, the Distinguished Honor Graduate, Captain Constance Dees. Lieutenant Colonel Phillips will now introduce our guest speaker.
Thank you. Special guest, family, friends, and today's graduates. It is my distinct pleasure to introduce today's guest speaker, Rosemarie Deck, who currently serves as a Special Assistant to the Commanding General, Soldier Support Institute for the Army National Guard. Her bio is in your programs, so I'll cover just a few highlights about it. Colonel Deck enlisted in the National Guard, North Dakota Army National Guard in 1987 as administrative specialist, and attended basic training right here at Fort Jackson as a member of our own Charlie Company 369. She received her commission through Officer Candidate School in July of 1993, and her first assignment was as a Community Relations Officer with the 116th Public Affairs Detachment, Bismarck, North Dakota. Colonel Deck has served a wide array of key positions throughout her career. Among her key assignments, though, are Deputy Military Personnel Officer for the North Dakota Army National Guard, Chief of Personnel Policy Branch, and Chief of Force Management Branch, National Guard Bureau, General Officer Management Office. Brigade G1, the 141st Maneuver Enhancement Brigade, as she deployed to Kosovo, and Chief Army Reserves Officer, Department of the Army General Officer Management Office. Her second deployment was as a Warrior Care Coordinator for the Combined Joint Medical Office in Afghanistan. Following her deployment, she served as a battalion commander for the Warrior Transition Battalion in Fort Stewart, Georgia. Colonel Deck is a graduate of the Adjutant General Corps Officer Basic Course, Captain's Career Course, and Command General Staff College. Her military awards include the Meritorious Service Medal with 4 Oak Leaf clusters, Army Commendation Medal with 3 Oak Leaf clusters, the Army Achievement Medal with 1 Oak Leaf cluster, and a variety of other federal and state awards. Colonel Deck currently serves, as we said before, as a Special Assistant to the Commanding General of Soldier Support Institute here at Fort Jackson. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in extending a warm welcome to our guest speaker, Colonel Deck.
Good morning. Wow. We didn't program this in for 5-4, did we? Okay, and I'm not one to talk behind a podium anyway. Sir, and to our staff here from SSI, welcome. Thank you for joining us this morning. To the students, candidates, classmates, I guess not candidates, classmates, you're all going to look at each other today, and some of you will not see each other again. As I came up here and was preparing for this speech, I was trying to think of who was my distinguished honor graduate. who is our honor graduate? Who held what positions when we went and did our field exercise portion? And actually, I did remember a couple of them, but not all of them. And what I'm reminded is, as we come up here, what's facing us? What is facing you, this class 00314, as you get ready to walk out the door? What are you going to face? And what I can liken it to is that when I accepted my commission, and as I was getting promoted up the ranks, that was about the same time as we were drawing down after Desert Shield, Desert Storm. Okay, so just like today when we have the voluntary separation incentives coming out, and in fact, I think after Desert Shield, Desert Storm, we actually had a couple more. We had, the temporary early retirement options being made available, both on the active side and then also the temporary incentive on the traditional guardsmen and for TPU soldiers. And so we were drawing down. And what do we hear about in the news today? Almost everywhere you turn, you hear about the Army's going to draw down to World War II time frame, and that's what what we're going to be resourced to. And I think about that and think, wow, I was kind of thinking the same thing. When I started in the Title 10 AGR program at National Guard Bureau in '97, you come on tour for initial 3 years. With what was going on then, I wasn't sure at the end of those 3 years I was going to still have a job on active duty. Okay? Because there were a lot of changes going on. And that's what all of you, as you walk out the door, that's what you're going to face. And so a couple of nuggets of guidance I can give you that I learned with my peers coming through that time is that you need to take a good hard look at what you want to do. Because the Army is always going to be there. The Army Reserve and the Army National Guard are going to be there. Okay? They're not going away. Are we going to downsize? Are we going to get back to a manageable size and that the Congress feels comfortable with? Yeah, they're going to get us there. It probably won't be the blood force trauma that they did after World War II, but it's probably not going to be as nice and warm and fluffy as it was after Desert Shield, Desert Storm, where they offered us all kinds of different incentives to draw down. Okay? But for you, as young captains and lieutenants going forward, what that looks like for you in this day and age is what is it that you are willing to do. Okay? So as you leave here today, as you drive home, fly home, wherever that home is for you, whether it's Florida or New York or Pennsylvania, and I think someone from Hawaii as well, think about where you want to go. Are you willing to live in Alexandria, Virginia, and drive to the 213th support group in Allentown, 4 hours away, and 6 to 7 hours if you're stuck on the 270 spur on a Friday night? Okay? Are you willing to drive from Alexandria, Virginia to the 80th Training Command down in Richmond, Virginia over the summer months, down 395 and 95, and sometimes on Friday nights, that could turn from a 90-minute trip into about 5-6 hours. Are you willing to do that? Okay. How do your military goals combine with your civilian employment goals? Okay. How does that also intertwine with your family and your personal goals? Okay. Those are the things that as choices come up, if you have thought about that, if you've talked to your employer and said, hey, I want to go on to do this next step. I want to take that 6-month tour and go to the Sinai, to go to Kosovo, to go wherever the missions are where you can learn more. That's a conversation you need to have with your boss. Okay? Think about those things now. Think about your spouse. Some of you are engaged, some of you are married, some of you have kids, and think about how all of that works together. Do I want to be the soccer coach and give up my weekends to do tournaments, so I'm only doing 1 drill weekend a month, and the other 3 are as a soccer coach or Boy Scout leader, whatever those are? Think about what all those mean to you as you plan your way ahead. And I tell you, with knowing where you want to go, trust the doors will be open. Okay? I say that at the same time as I'm going to tell you that we're not going to be pinning to the next highest grade at the absolute earliest opportunity anymore. Okay? Some of you have experienced that. When you came in, we were an Army at war, and boy, pretty much everybody was minimum time and grade, put it on, go to Afghanistan, go to Iraq, go where I need you to go. Okay? That too is going to slow down just a little bit. No longer can you expect to have everything minimum time and grade plus the time it takes to process for me to get promoted. Okay? So keep that in mind. Again, manage expectations. And this is not only for you, but for those that work for you, those that you are counsel and guidance to. Okay? So think about those things. I'd also say that as you're here in this room today and as you get ready to spread to the four corners, maintain your contacts. One of the things as reserve components I can say that has helped me along the way is maintaining the contacts. I still am friends today with the soldiers I went to my basic course with. Okay? And what that did is I was at National Guard Bureau Title 10, as Colonel Phillips mentioned, I went to Kosovo. What he didn't say is 45 days before the brigade mobilized, I was sitting in Washington, D.C. minding my own business. And I get a phone call from my Adjutant General, and I know I got a couple guardsmen in here. You understand when the two-star calls you up and says, Rose, how about coming home and going to Kosovo with us? There's only one answer to that. Yes, sir, what day do you need me in Bismarck? Okay? And so I went home a couple weeks later. I did the SRP, went back to D.C. to close out my office, and found myself 45 days after the phone call at Camp Atterbury. Okay? And when I got there, I had a couple of folks that I had worked with before that I knew from North Dakota. I had a lot of new soldiers, junior soldiers. And I'd ask them, what is your experience? I went to the 42 course, ma'am. I went, okay, but what's your experience? And their response again was, I went to the 42 course. And I went, wow, are we in for a wild ride? But what I can tell you is I reached out because I needed a database. And I know I got some New York Guardsmen in here, and if you recognize CW2 Sean Fredericks, he was awesome. How did I reach him? I reached him through an OVC classmate from New York. A National Guard officer I talked to, and I said, hey, I need some help. I know after 9/11, New York had to get their arms around how to account for all the different branches of service and all the components when they were keeping track of who was in the area of operation. How'd they do it? And she said, Sean Fredericks, he's the guy you need to talk to, ma'am. And 24 hours later, I had a quality database that I took with me to Kosovo and back, and is still being used in North Dakota today. So what I'm telling you is get your contact and keep building that list. And when someone asks you for help, respond to them in kind to help them out. Professional development. It's not as easy as when you're on active duty. The boss says we have a reading list and we're all going to be in the library at this time on this day. It's going to be a little bit more challenging for all of you. But I need for all of you to take on that extra challenge. Spend that extra time to become the subject matter expert. Be that person that when someone starts to talk to you about drawdown, understand what that means. Understand, like we talked about yesterday in the DPRO class, what does that database have? Now, we're real big on whiz-bang electronic devices. I can't even program my iPhone. I've had it for a month, and I'm going to have to find a teenager to fix it for me. But what I can tell you is that we have a lot of tools that are resources to us. I need you to get to the next level. You get the database that says I have a first lieutenant at 18 months, and they're not qualified. It's not just about that promotion. There's the other effects that have to happen. That officer has to be counseled in writing. That has to be filed in their permanent record. That's the next step I'm talking about. Become that subject matter expert. Become that person that when the senior leadership looks around and sees that AG shield or sees you in that S1 job or that Brigade 1 office and they ask the question, you know the answer. That's what I challenge you. And as traditional guardsmen, M-Day, TPU, I know that that's a challenge. That's a challenge because you're doing something else 28 days a month. Okay? But as far as your profession and taking yourself the direction you want to go, that's what I need you to do. I need you to really focus on the profession of arms. Learn about your job and what you do and what you mean to our organization. Because I tell you what, it won't be long before I transition out of the Army and you are the new leadership. And I need you all to be subject matter experts, particularly in those jobs like Utah and our Special Forces folks. I think of, a comment that was made yesterday in class, and I think of, hey, this is going to be the go-to guy that's going to make sure those reports that we couldn't get in the past, we're going to get now. He has made a connection to a fellow officer here that works at National Guard Bureau that's going to get him hooked up for that. Okay, so take it the next level. And last but not least, I'm going to leave you with this thought because I know our active duty counterparts don't always recognize it the same way, but everybody in this group knows what annual training is. And you know that annual training isn't complete until every soldier makes it home. So it's not just today when you walk out of this door, this auditorium. This course isn't complete until all of you are home safe. So as you're traveling this holiday weekend, some of you, I see families here, some of you will be going home to your families. I ask that you take care of our very precious resource in this room and be safe in your travels home. Thank you, good luck, and Godspeed.
Ma'am, on behalf of the Adjutant General Captain's Career Corps Class 00314, we want to thank you for taking the time to come and speak with us, with the group, and we want to give you this gift as a token of our appreciation. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
At this time, Major Janelle Cutter, Chief, Advanced Officer Training Division, will assist with the presentations of the diplomas. The Commandant Certificate and Coin of Excellence is presented to the officer with the second highest overall class standing. This award encompasses all facets of the course and is indicative of the officer's leadership skills, grade point average, and physical fitness. It represents personal effort, sense of responsibility, and commitment to excellence. The honor graduate for the Captain's Career Course, Class 003-14, is Captain Alexander Habestro, Commandant's List. The Distinguished Honor Graduate is awarded the President Benjamin Harrison Medal. It is presented to the officer with the highest overall class standing. This award encompasses leadership skills, grade point average, and physical fitness. It is indicative of personal effort and commitment to excellence, and is therefore presented to the officer who best demonstrates professional excellence in all areas. The Distinguished Honor Graduate for the Career Course 003-14 is Captain Constance Dees, Commandant's List. Congratulations. Colonel Deck will now present diplomas to the graduating class. Please hold your applause until all the diplomas have been presented.
Ma'am, Adjutant General Captain's Career Corps 00314 is prepared to graduate.
Graduate the class.
Captain Derek Allen, United States Army Reserve. First Lieutenant Robinson Ariana, Army National Guard. Captain Eddie Batista, United States Army Reserve. First Lieutenant Jonathan Baum, Army National Guard. Captain Myron Bishop, Army National Guard. Captain Jeanette Bocanegra, United States Army Reserve. Captain James Brennan, Army National Guard. First Lieutenant Kevin Cronin, Army National Guard. First Lieutenant Alex Curtis, Army National Guard. First Captain Ebony Gordon, United States Army Reserve. Captain Jerry Hensley, United States Army Reserve. Captain Serena Ivy, United States Army Reserve. Captain Kyle Key, Army National Guard. Captain Joyce Merritt, United States Army Reserve. Captain Quincy Malam, Army National Guard. Captain Marquis Naylor, United States Army Reserve. Captain Georgia Powell, United States Army Reserve. Captain Sandra Richards, United States Army Reserve. First Lieutenant Ruth Rivas, Army National Guard. Captain Lakeisha Roberson, Army National Guard. Captain David Shelley, Army National Guard. Captain Yesenia Sigcho, Army National Guard. Captain Hope Singleton, Army National Guard. Captain Rocky Snuffler, Army National Guard. Captain Alan Trudella, Army National Guard. Captain Moya Wilson, United States Army Reserve. First Lieutenant William Wiseman, Army National Guard. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Adjutant General Captain's Career Course 003-14. Colonel Dack. Colonel Dack, on behalf of the graduating class, thank you for taking the time to speak to us today at this very special event. To our distinguished guests, thank you for taking the time to honor us with your presence here today. Thank you to the Adjutant General Corps Regimental Association for its special support in the awards program. To the graduating class, the cadre and I offer our personal congratulations on your accomplishments. We wish you and your families a safe journey to your destinations and great success in your military careers. Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please stand as Captain Constance Steeves leads the graduating class reciting the Soldier's Creed and remain standing for the Army song and departure of the official party.
Soldier's Creed.
The Soldier's Creed. I am an American soldier. I am a warrior and member of the team. I serve the people of the United States and live the Army values. I will always place the mission first. I will never accept defeat. I will never quit. I will never leave a fallen comrade. I am disciplined, physically and mentally tough, trained and proficient in my warrior tasks and drills. I always maintain my arms, my equipment, and myself. I am an expert and I am a professional. I stand ready to deploy, engage, and destroy the enemies of the United States of America in close combat. I am a guardian of freedom and the American way of life. I am an American soldier.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's graduation ceremony. Thank you for attending and congratulations again to the graduating class. Defend and serve.
Oh!
travels when you go back to Brand. I would ask